Hi, I'm Lisa Britton, and I'm delivering the eulogy for my mother, Betty Bias. Betty Lou Prager Bias was born on January 1st, 1943, to John and Ella Ruth Prager in Natrona Heights, Pennsylvania. She was born the middle child of five, having two older sisters, Janice Schuler and the late Ruth Ann Berry, and two younger brothers, the late John Prager and Don Prager. She was mother to four children of her own, two sons, Jeff Bias and John Bias, and two daughters, myself, Lisa Britton, and my sister Terry Tudor. She was grandmother to seven grandchildren, Blake, Justin, Preston, Nathan, Christopher Bias, Matthew and Andrew Britton, and Haley Tudor. She was great-grandmother to Mason Bias, and she also had two step-grandchildren, Noah and Zoe Gerald. Betty loved attending church at the Fountain of Life Worship Center, where she was a member, and she volunteered for Children's Church nearly every Sunday. In addition to attending church, she loved playing bingo and Yahtzee with her best friend and her sister by choice, Jody Bogus. Betty loved watching the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Pittsburgh Pirates on TV. She enjoyed crocheting and sewing. She enjoyed being around friends and family. She enjoyed music. And she enjoyed, more than anything in this world, she loved attending the sporting events of her grandchildren, their band concerts, school functions, anything that had to do with her grandchildren, she wanted to be a part of it. Betty was a very proud mother and an even more proud grandmother. Betty was a professional seamstress, having worked for Logan Manufacturing Company in Logan, West Virginia, and having had her own business, Betty's Sewing Basket, in Madison, West Virginia. Betty suffered from COPD for almost 12 years and was on oxygen for almost all of that time, until October 7th, 2008, when she received a phone call from UPMC Medical Center in Pittsburgh to tell her that she was going to be the recipient of two new lungs. My mother and I flew from Charleston, West Virginia to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where she underwent the lung transplant, and she did extremely well throughout the surgery. She recovered quickly and was released from the hospital within 2.5 weeks. But 3 weeks post-op, she suffered grand mal seizures and had to be flown back to Pittsburgh, where they discovered that she was having an allergic reaction to one of her anti-rejection drugs. Mother lived for nearly 10 years with her new lungs, and she never let time get away from her. She made the most of every day, and she made every day count. So I'm here today to urge you that if you are not an organ donor, won't you please consider becoming a donor and saving a life? Sadly, my mother lost her battle on September 26, 2018. We had to say goodbye to her, and it was it was definitely the most difficult thing I've ever had to do. We think of her daily, and we miss her all the time, but we know that she is still a part of us in everything that we do and every daily activity that we do. She is with us every step of the way. Thank you for joining me. Have a good evening.